Si-eun, a boy whose world revolves only around his books. The smartest in school, the quietest, but also the loneliest. He has no real friends, because for him, studying is life. That's all that matters. Now, on the other side, there's his classmate, Yangbin, an average student, but socially very active. Parties, jokes, popularity, that's what his life is made of. But there's one thing missing, the brilliance that Si-eun has, and that stings him. Worse, Yangbin used to be the school's biggest bully, hurting weak kids, his favorite hobby. One day, he notices Si-eun, quiet, intelligent, and always on top, and that's where it starts. A rivalry that doesn't stay just in the classroom. Elsewhere in school, another story is playing out. Suho, a boy surrounded by rumors. He's been targeted for allegedly flirting with a girl, but his response is ice cold. She's the one chasing me, and then action. Suho takes down the entire group on his own, like a movie hero. But this wasn't just a show of power, because after the fight ends, he quietly picks up the girl's stuff and apologizes. A tough guy, but also full of grace. Si-eun's family has its own story too. His dad, a former athlete. His mom, a brilliant woman, but they're no longer together. Now, Si-eun lives with his dad and studies like his life depends on it, all to make his mother proud. One evening, while he's studying in his room, someone knocks at the door. It's Suho. He's working as a delivery boy now and ended up at the wrong house. But without hesitation, he walks in and asks for water. Meanwhile, Yangbin is partying at a disco with friends, but in his mind, a plan is brewing. Just bullying Si-eun isn't enough anymore. He wants to destroy what matters most to him, his studies. Yangbin calls his cousin and gets him to supply drugs. Then he uses a weak student, Yeon Si-eun, to secretly place a fentanyl patch on Si-eun's body during the exam. Suddenly, Si-eun starts to feel dizzy. He fights to stay awake, shakes his head, but it's too late. The exam ends. He looks at his answer sheet. Only one tiny mistake, but that one mistake shakes his entire world. Burning with rage, Si-eun marches straight to Yangbin and unleashes a brutal beatdown. The boy everyone thought was the quietest in class delivers such a strong punch that Yangbin's friends just stand and watch. Suho tries to stop him, but Si-eun doesn't listen. He's even ready to fight Suho now, but Suho is the strongest fighter in school, and he easily restrains Si-eun. A teacher comes and breaks it up. Result? Yangbin's nose is broken, and his mother storms into school to complain, but Si-eun answers calmly, "Ma'am, your son brought drugs to school. You tell me, who should really be expelled?" Then he shows her proof. Yangbin's mom goes silent. The next day, Yangbin's friends want revenge. They challenge Si-eun after school for a fight, but Si-eun replies, "Why wait? Let's settle it now." They go to the bathroom. Si-eun locks the door, but this time, he doesn't want to fight. This was a mind game. He creates just enough fear so that next time, no one dares stand up to him again, and it works. His image shifts from a quiet nerd to a clever hero. In the hospital, Yangbin calls his cousin. Now he wants serious revenge. He hires his cousin to finish Si-eun off. Meanwhile, Suho and Si-eun's bond starts to grow. From fights to talks, they begin to spend more time together. At school, rumors spread. They've become best friends. Yeon Si-eun also tries to get close to Si-eun, but Si-eun tells him straight, "Don't pretend to be my friend." One day outside school, Yangbin and some goons are waiting for Si-eun. They kidnap him and take him to a deserted place. There, they beat him brutally. Their goal? To break his hands so he can never study or write again. But then, like a true hero, Suho arrives. He shouts in anger, "That's enough!" But Yangbin's cousin refuses to back down. Now it's personal. And then comes the epic showdown. Suho versus Yangbin's cousin. Both strong fighters, but Suho's level on a whole different scale. Elsewhere, the other goons are beating Si-eun. That's when Yeon Si-eun arrives. He jumps in and helps save Si-eun. When Yangbin's cousin realizes that everyone is turning against him, he gives up and walks away. After the fight, Si-eun says, "It's over now, let it go." Now, Si-eun, Suho, and Yeon Si-eun become real friends. Suho says, "Since you got late because of me, you'll have to help me with my job now." They all start working together at a small store, and after work, they sit for dinner. Yeon Si-eun shyly apologizes. Si-eun forgives him without saying a word, and then comes a heartwarming moment. Suho feeds Si-eun with his own hands. For the first time ever, Si-eun feels what real friendship is. But the story wasn't over yet. The real trouble began when those goons, the ones who beat Si-eun, themselves got caught in a trap set by an even bigger mafia. The real boss of that gang, known only as Psycho, comes up with a twisted plan. He intentionally breaks his own man's hand just so he can demand 1.5 million won in compensation. Now this wasn't just a fight against a bully anymore, it was a fight against a full-blown criminal gang. The gang starts following Si-eun and his friends. They feel trapped. That's when Si-eun's new friend tells him the truth, how this gang works. They trap people in debt and then exploit them like slaves. Yeon Si-eun, now truly loyal to his friends, sells his father's watch and somehow arranges the 1.5 million. But Si-eun says, if we give money today, they'll never stop. We have to destroy their entire system. Si-eun reveals that he has found the location of evidence at the gang leader's house. So, a plan is made. Suho will go there and pitch his betting app idea to win the boss's trust. The plan begins, but as Suho reaches there, the gang leader grows suspicious, and suddenly, he attacks. He finds Suho's phone and sees a message. "We're coming with the police." He panics. Orders are given. Burn all the evidence. Yeon Si-eun arrives with the money, but by then, it's too late. Just then, the real police arrive, but the place is already empty. No one is there. The police think it was all just a drama. Suddenly, the gang leader attacks Si-eun. He begins beating him viciously. Yoonji tries to stop him. "Please stop!" But the boss snaps and screams, "Kill them all!" Then comes the darkest moment. He orders a minor boy to murder Yoonji and her cousin, because if a kid does it, he won't go to jail. But then everyone fights back. A massive battle erupts. Si-eun and Suho team up and defeat the gang leader in a brutal showdown. Meanwhile, the cousin turns himself in to save his friends. The police finally get all the evidence they need, and one by one, everyone from the gang is arrested. But the real surprise? The police let Si-eun and his friends go without even calling their guardians. On one condition: you'll never speak of this to anyone. Why? Because Yeon Si-eun's father was actually a powerful politician, and he covered it all up to protect his own image. Later, Yeon Si-eun faces a harsh truth. That man wasn't really his father. He had only adopted Yeon Si-eun to polish his public image, and now treated him worse than a stray animal. Back at school, Yeon Si-eun suddenly becomes popular because everyone knows it was him who helped bring down the criminals. But when he sees Yoonji getting close to his friends, jealousy takes over. He tries to draw attention at karaoke, but it all backfires. He runs into some of his old bully classmates and ends up fleeing in fear. In frustration, he lashes out at Yoonji. He even tries to hurt her. But then, those goons show up again. And this time, Si-eun stands tall. He says firmly, "Get lost. Leave her alone." Yeon Si-eun breaks down. He finally confesses all his pain, how he was brutally bullied in his previous school and never truly recovered. Now, the three boys, Si-eun, Suho, and Yeon Si-eun stand together again, but this time, not because of hate, but because of understanding, forgiveness, and true friendship. If you like this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Part 2 of this series will be even more intense and emotional. See you in the next story. Until then,